the districts on the road against an up-and-coming Mansfield Senior squad, hoping to build on one of their best seasons in program history. It's live and free tournament soccer that you can only find on the OH Report, and it's coming up next.
Happy Halloween!
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Very nice look to Denbo. Beautiful behind the back move. Oh my goodness, ankle breaker. And it's the shot. Wow.
Are you aggressive in traveling? Are you trapping?
Inside to Holloway. 2-on-2 fast break. Ramsey has it, takes it herself. Off the glass. And Curfew comes back.
Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome into our pregame show presented by Mansfield City Schools Renewal Level Committee. Remember to vote yes on November 8th if you're living in the Mansfield City School District. Alongside Hayden Gray, I am Brian Skowronski, and we've got a cold night, man. You see Mother Nature, it's kind of been spitting on us for a few hours out here, so there's a few other factors at play besides just soccer.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy that we've had such an up and down the last few days, and looking ahead to the weekend, almost a 40-degree difference. But you know what? Tournament time doesn't wait for the elements, and soccer has to be played tonight.
Let's talk about these TY Tigers trying to capture their 9th win this season, Hayden, and they've got a nice core group of athletes. starting to build a culture around here under Coach Gregory now in his second season. It's been a great one so far for the Tiger standards.
I think so, too. They continue to climb that ladder, like you said, every year, and I think the coaching staff's been a big part of that. They have a great group of girls out there and a lot of youth, too, and a lot of talent, and they're kind of led by, Kyah Wentz and her senior leadership this year as well.
Yeah, let's talk more about Kyah transferring in from St. Peter's a couple of years back, and she really has emerged as a leader of the team. And, she should, because she's the only senior out here, and she has showed out so far all season long.
She definitely has. I mean, Kyah, so much talent around her, and she really just displays a lot of leadership vocally and physically. 13 goals for her and 2 assists on the season, so looking to go out and looking to get this Tigers team as far as she can in her last time suiting up for the Orange and Brown as a Tiger in her career.
Yeah, they'll certainly be looking to Kyah's leadership out on the field tonight. The leading scorer for TY so far on the season. And then on the other side of things for Sandusky Perkins, this is a team, they followed up their first ever league title last year with a repeat championship in the Lake Division in the Sandusky Bay Conference. And I think you could arguably say that this is their best season so far, at least in the regular campaign, ever.
It definitely seems that way. I was looking in a little bit to Coach McVay's tenure time as the head coach, and I believe this is going to be his 3rd season, so not too bad, not too shabby getting 2 league titles in your first 2 years, and I believe it was something that he didn't unwillingly go into, but I know that he previously was just coaching one sport, but kind of took this under his wing as well, and they're here and they're ready to compete.
Pirates are coming in here, coming off of a loss, but outside of that, boy, they had a 13-match unbeaten streak, Hayden, where they were just beating folks down, a 42-2 goal differential during that stretch before the regular season finale. So this is a squad I totally expect to come in and play with a lot of confidence. And the ringleader of their offense, actually just a sophomore, Sophia Ralofsky, really talented, really has elevated her game in her second season here at the varsity level, leading the team in scoring, second in assists.
Yeah, exciting when you have a sophomore coming up through your program and already putting up these kind of numbers, 18 goals this season, and she's second on the team with those assists with 7 on the season, and she's obviously going to be an instrumental part for these Lady Pirates this season, this tournament, and the next 2 years to come.
So the keys for Sandusky Perkins tonight, what's it going to take for the Pirates to come here on the road, soggy conditions, and get a victory over Mansfield Senior?
Well, I think it's going to take, them to control the tempo and the possession and just really the way the match flows, control the motion of the ocean. If you come down here, and I think they're probably going to be happy. Obviously, this game moved from Malabar over to the turf at Arlin, so that's probably a big benefit. I think a lot of those SBC teams play on turf, so just really try and get comfortable here. I know it's cold, but get over that and just play your match and try and shut down the offense that the Tigers have.
And I'm curious what kind of effect it's going to have on Mansfield Senior, who, of course, typically does play their home matches on the grass over at Malabar, unable to, of course, because of the soggy field conditions. So they are here playing tonight. And for me, for those Pirates, just you got to take advantage of your opportunities, man. Don't have bad mistakes when you get into the attacking third. If you've got shots on this Tigers defense who doesn't allow a whole lot of goals, you have got to capitalize. And our keys to the Tigers' victory, presented by the Levy committee. You just got to kind of play true to your mascot. I think if you're the Tigers, you got some fast girls on the outside. They're mostly healthy. Of course, at this time of year, kids are going to be dealing with some ailments, of course, but everybody's going to be in the lineup tonight, so they are at full strength in terms of the girls out there on the field. I think you just got to showcase that you're the faster team out here tonight. They've got a lot of great track stars.
I think they do, and the ball's going to be flying around a little bit quicker, slippery, and on the turf. So really, that speed can come into play if you're going to be able to outperform and outrun your opponent's going to give you a lot more opportunity to possess and get shots on goal. And obviously, I just alluded to it, but kind of home field advantage, but a new element for them too. So just settle in. I mean, they're all used to it, probably coming to watch other athletics takes place here, but really enjoy the opportunity despite the elements, despite everything that's going on. Enjoy getting to play here because I think that it provides some different aspects to the game when you play on turf.
Yeah, there's no question about it. The game's faster. The ball travels with more velocity. There's very few bumps, of course, out here on the field. It is nice and smooth, so it's going to have some type of an impact. And, of course, when you're in America, we always have an impact here whenever you hear the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. That's how we are going to kick things off tonight, and then we'll get started. Sectional Championship Soccer. So we are all set and ready for action. And I see the Lady Tigers very smart here. Most of them geared up. They got those thermal tights underneath. Yeah. So I don't think that the chilliness is actually going to be a factor. The temperatures are in the 30s here tonight. But once you get the juices flowing and you're out there running, I mean, these girls are going to be moving all over the field. We'll just see how much the slick conditions really have an impact tonight, Hayden. But these are two phenomenal defensive units. And here's what's at stake for both of them. We'll show you the bracket here in Division II. And you don't want to say that they're going to be outmatched, the winner of this match, whoever moves on, but they're likely going to be facing up with the #1 seed Ontario, who shut out Shelby tonight. In all likelihood, they're going to shut out Tiffin Columbian. So the winner of this match got to take on the #1 seed in a team that is just really chomping at the bit to get back to a regional. They've been beat in the district championship match 5 straight years, that being the Lady Warriors, of course.
Yeah, tonight is just the starting block. It's a rough road ahead coming up next round to whoever can take it tonight. Obviously, Ontario, the juggernaut in this portion of the bracket this year, they will, have to get through Columbian Saturday, which we fully expect them to. So I think both teams know tonight is a good opportunity to try and maybe experiment with a few other, just play styles or try to get some different things going, because that's what you're going to need when you take on Ontario.
And the match is officially underway. Mansfield Senior looking for their first sectional title in 10 years. Last time was back in 2012, but they're off to a good start. They're getting bumped off the ball right there. Ariana Merrill, one of the leading scorers on the unit. Second top Tiger in terms of the scoring charts. And I think that's what Mansfield's going to have to do. They've got some nice physical athletes up top, play some big through balls, and see if you can't just go win a foot race.
Like you said, too, I really don't think once soccer's one of those sports where you are, fortunately, except the goalkeepers are sometimes constantly moving. So even see some winter hats being sported. So I don't think, other than just maybe a little bit of battling the elements in your eyes, that the temperature will play in too much.
That ball's going to race out of bounds for a goal kick, and that's a big difference, of course, playing to grass or playing on this synthetic turf, is that the ball's just going to run a little bit faster, and especially with the wet conditions, it doesn't actually slow things down. It increases the pace, if anything.
Yeah, that material doesn't serve like it would on grass, which even on grass it's going to speed things up, but not as many. There's no bumps, there's no mud that's going to slow it down at all. So try and take advantage of that. And, instead of looking at those as negatives or cons to the evening, try and turn that into a positive for your team.
Nice ball movement. Here's Duncan on the wing. Turning it back inside. Bad giveaway, though. Drew the double team. Pirates give it right back. As kind of a sloppy start here for both sides. Just 2 minutes in. Wentz playing that off of the shin guards of the defender. Quick off the restart. And look at all those Pirates just surrounding Merrill.
Yeah, they're very quick to swarm. You can tell that they really don't want to allow Mansfield Senior to get too much space or any opportunity towards the outsides and, working in.
It's going to be Perkins throwing, coming from the far side. That one struck well down the line. So it'll get Sandusky Perkins set up here in the attacking third. Tigers got him pushed out, and they'll come away with the rock. Wentz making a cut here down the near side, but it's a bad turnover in the middle of the field. We've already seen a handful of those from both sides tonight, so certainly you're thinking that the conditions are playing into that, but the decision-making, it's even got to come up a little bit in these type of elements here tonight for the Tigers.
Yeah, it does. Any little thing can kind of lapse your judgment, even just for a second in soccer. Every moment critical, every pass critical, especially once you get to the tournament. You want to take care of every possession that you have.
Is Brennan Mills coming out, scooping it up? Boy, has she been tested on the season, and it really stood pretty tall so far. 175 recorded saves for Brennan. Allowed 20 goals so far on the year. Pretty solid numbers for her in between the pipes. And on the other side for Perkins, we showed that team spotlight. I mean, they're just giving up half a goal per contest. Only 9 have got into the back of the net so far against this team. So defensively, they're going to be sound all night long. So fully expect this to be more of a defensive battle than maybe an offensive type of juggernaut night. But you just never know when the rain's pouring like this.
You don't. Any given night, any team can come out and kind of surprise you with the offense that they're going to post up.
And that's Wentz just sinking one down in the corner, giving Merrill at least an opportunity to run down, showcasing the speed, beating the defender to the rock. And that earns the Lady Tigers possession as they've got the throw in from the far side of the field coming in. And now here's Kyah looking for a crease. And she's going to earn a corner kick.
So this will be the first corner kick for either squad tonight, and these are exactly when you talk about the defense of both teams. These are really crucial moments that you're going to want to take care of and try and at least get some quality looks on, because one goal may be all it takes tonight.
This one bending back post, a little bit too much juice behind that one. Aubrey Duncan the closest there. And it's going to sail out of play. Another look on the Mechanics Bank replay. You see Mansfield just sending 3 bodies up top. Try to make a play on it, so it was going to be challenging no matter what, but didn't really give him much of a chance.
Took a pretty big pull there, too, and kind of came back out towards midfield. I think judging off the flags on the goalpost, that's kind of the way the wind's blowing tonight. So you got to make adjustments there, too, on your delivery and execution.
Here's Annalise Norris, the sophomore, throwing it down the line. A little too much behind that one for Wentz. She'll get another shot at it. As we're almost 6 minutes gone by here at Arlin Field. Rain coming down sideways. It's a little bit breezy out there, as Hayden alluded to. See which team's able to adjust to the elements better here as this first half runs along, because according to the weather report, I don't think that this is going to die down tonight.
I don't think so. That's obviously, as we mentioned earlier, why they made the move. You want to, you hate to try and right at the beginning of the postseason have to try and make delays and adjustments and schedule changes. So moving the game over to a surface where you just have to tough it out. It's going to stay playable, so we'll see which team's going to rise to the occasion.
Off the deflection. It's going to go out of bounds here on the near sideline. Wentz wasn't able to keep it in the field of play, so the Pirates with the throw-in. And that one flicked up, headed to the middle of the field. See what the Tigers try to do with it here. Gonna miss it, trying to hook up with Kyah.
Bit of a mistake for Kyah letting it slide by. Tigers trying to fight back for possession, though.
And a lot of the action being played over on this side of the field right now. So for Mansfield Senior, kind of want to use the whole width. See if you can't strike it out to the opposite side. Allow Merrill to try to make a charge at it. As that one,
Wow, yeah.
really caught up in the wind. Definitely a great showcase of what we're dealing with here in terms of Mother Nature.
Yeah, it can get breezy. You know, a lot of times we're here at Arlin for football, but just knowing how the field works, it comes down off that hill and just kind of slides down and creates that wind tunnel. So Mansfield Senior, during those goal kicks, going to be facing a little bit of pressure tonight.
Ralofsky being pressured out there by Elder. There is a good look at all of the moisture that's coming down here over the stadium lights. And it's been the case for the last couple hours.
Did see some umbrellas below us, so filled in a little bit.
Kind of an unusual play there. Look at this off the shot. And they're awarding, though, a goal kick. Thought it might have caromed off of one of the Mansfield defenders.
Did kind of look like it changed direction significantly, but a ball don't lie moment here in soccer.
And just being able to flip the field like Perkins has done, you see with the wind blowing in the direction that it is, it's tough just to get a solid goal kick on the ball. But the Tigers are able to get it out of harm's way. But they give it right back.
That's why the point you make, I think that's why hustle will play into it so much tonight. There's going to be opportunities, but you've got to have multiple girls down there ready in case you have a deflection. You know, oftentimes that second shot is going to be your best opportunity in tough conditions. It's going to be harder for the goalkeepers to get back up if they fully lay out tonight.
Samantha Green runs up. She's got the throw-in duties. And she'll bring it down the line. Well done. Played down to the feet by Ralofsky. Cleared out momentarily here by Mansfield Senior, but Haley Bruner the first to the rock. See if we can get a couple connecting passes here. Neither team, I think, has done more than 2 in a row.
They've been sparse for sure. They've been few and far between, and a lot of times things like that continue to go on. A few kicks, and we're right back out of bounds, flipping sides of the field. And the Lady Pirates steal the throw-in from Senior.
See if they can get a set up. Ralofsky.
Ooh.
Good looking touch there as she had a charging McVeigh. And Maggie just wasn't able to get a solid first touch on. You see it's a little bit heavy here. And with that rain, normally on the turf, if it's a dry night, I mean, these balls aren't going to be running in the manner that they are here tonight. So the tough field conditions so far, and it's been on full display for 10 minutes.
And that would have been a great opportunity, you know, had the first touch not been a little bit just awkward bouncing off the foot of McVeigh, because she's the second leading scorer on this Pirates squad with 11 goals this year. So would have been a nice opportunity, but they'll continue. If they can continue to try and get some looks like that, that'll work.
Make sure that you drop us a comment tonight on our Facebook and YouTube feed. Be a part of the game. Or if you're on Twitter, go with #FanZone, and we will read your comments here over the air, feature them as well. As Perkins making a quick substitution, they're going to check in Lily Tom. She's going to be playing some minutes up top here for the Pirates. We're trying to sneak it into Sophia. And now it will run its way out to her. Ralofsky Probably the most dangerous individual athlete out on the field here tonight. Dynamic playmaker, as mentioned, 18 goals so far in the season. That's more than anybody participating here tonight. Maggie McVeigh as well. Coach's kid, had a stellar season herself. Handed out 12 assists, found the back of the net 11 times. So that 1-2 punch for the Pirates, they've been leaning on them pretty heavily so far this season. And they just haven't really had a chance yet to connect for anything big.
We're definitely in the adjustment period, or how I'd like to say, I think a lot of the times you're feeling out your opponent for the first several minutes of the first half. Eventually someone will, get a good look that either doesn't go in or will strike first. But inevitably, I think we might be in a little bit more of a prolonged period tonight as they both just try and feel out their own offensive groove and then begin to attack.
And you see, like, the short little pitter-patter steps out there. Footing is a challenge tonight, even on the turf. Nice ball to the middle. Best combination that we've seen so far from either side. As the Pirates showing a little bit of patience, and right on cue. A misstep.
Nicely placed ball from Wentz.
And Annalise Norris has it carry him off of her shin guards out of bounds. Back over to Perkins. Do appreciate the creativity. As Kyah wins it out of the air, sets it up for Norris. And both teams right now playing with about 4 defenders back, so
yeah,
scoring opportunities are going to be tough. We'll see if Ralofsky's able to get a shot here. And she will. The first of the match brings Mills down to her knees.
Good job to really, track the ball there. Didn't panic and still slowed it down. Ball knew Mills knew that was going to come in a little bit more hot, a little bit more fast. Did a nice job of getting in front of it.
For Sophia, not a bad shot that time. Want to angle it a little bit more back post if you can. She had some friends coming in, but that's the first shot from either unit in 14 minutes of action. Now the Tigers start funneling some bodies forward. But we've definitely seen that more often than not tonight. Just running into the defenses. That's unloaded from about 50 yards out by Annalise. Maybe a bit of a frustration shot.
If that one gets a little bit more carry on it and a little bit more height, would have been a little bit more dramatic. Yeah, fighting against that wind. But, yeah, I think a little bit of emotion taken out on that one. Just wanting to try and make that goalkeeper for Perkins have to do a little bit of work.
Want to say what's up to Jen Johnson, Trisha Putt, Kimberly Ann Carter, Larry Wade out there filling up our comment section. We'll allow a few more to trickle in, and then we'll bring up our fan zone. So keep feeding us some of your comments and just tell us what you're thinking about the game so far and how you're kind of taking in the contest. Hopefully you're nice and dry, nice cold drink in your hand and enjoying some heating.
Yeah.
Hanging out on the sofa. Well, we're in a nice heated press box here. It feels pretty nice. But for the ladies down on the field, a little bit different scenario so far. And you can definitely tell when they're getting over to the sideline, the way that they're really shortening up their steps, just how much of an impact Mother Nature is having so far. Beautiful job stepping to the rock right there by Elder. Had it stripped away, though. And Marianic with the ball down into the corner.
Nice job to avoid the offsides, the timing there.
Now McVeigh dribbles through one defender, sets it up. Big shot, but an even better save by Mills.
Another chance for the Lady Pirates. Again, beautiful ball movement, but Mills holding it down does another nice job on the tremendous save.
She looked like she was all sorts of out of breath after that save. But it's really about the celebration, Brennan. Getting it all out, because as a keeper, you don't got to expend that much of your energy throughout the night, so you may as well save it for the big-time celebrations. Man, that one just a laser rifle. Never even had a chance. Didn't get back in the field of play as we're going to take one more look on the Mechanics Bank replay. That's a hell of a save right there, Hayden, because typically as a keeper, in the back of your mind, you're always taught as a player, back post, back post. That's usually the play. So they came near post. That one was going to find its way in if Brennan didn't make that outstanding save.
Yeah, I admire goalkeepers tremendously. There's so much space, and you're so isolated. You have decisions in front of you constantly each time, and, it's really there's skill that goes into it and also just guessing, and she combined both perfectly there.
Kyah with a big through ball. Won't make its way through, though. Not this back line, not against Perkins. They have been solid all season long.
Breakaway now.
And probably the right move just to put it out of the field of play. Knocked out of bounds for a corner kick. But it ends the threat.
Force the Lady Pirates into another corner kick.
They've got 3 players all coming in, and McVeigh just missed them. Though staying on the offensive. Not a great one-timer right there from Peyton Corso. And it'll leak out of bounds. Throw-in coming up for Perkins.
Yeah, you saw Ralofsky and Sturzinger. They moved right up, but just not the right timing to connect.
Big collision. Looks like Ralofsky's a little bit shaken up. If anything, I think that she probably would be responsible for the foul if there is one. Grabbing her mouth, maybe, potentially.
Yeah, it looks like that nose or ear. And everything, everything hurts so much more when it's cold, too.
Yeah, no question. She bumped heads a little bit right there with the defender, going toe-to-toe with Noelle Ambler. And grabbing what could be a nice big fat lip.
Yeah.
Looked like she hit right in the back of her dome. Yikes.
Showing how much of a warrior she is, though. Looks to be fine. This play continues on.
I think we had a late whistle come in. And it's going to go against Mansfield Senior. So this is a big opportunity coming up here. Direct kick. See what the Pirates do in terms of situating themselves.
Yeah, just 45 seconds from the halfway point here in the first half. So even if it can come off a corner or a direct kick like you have here, another opportunity ahead for the Lady Pirates.
It's going to be Beatty. She's got 6 players all outside the 18. Drifts it back post. Mills misplays it.
She's going to have to play back.
Yeah, got pretty fortunate here. Got a touch on it, a bit out of position. But with the slick conditions, Caitlin Frankfather wasn't able to do anything with it. So it's out of bounds. Corner kick number 3 on the way here for Perkins. And it's a good one. But overshoots everyone and should turn out to be a goal kick.
Yeah, just no one home dropped it right into that dead space there. No one able to make a quick adjustment and get a play on the ball.
So just past the midway point. Still looking for our first goal here of the match. Winner moving on to the round of districts. Lady Tygers have not won a sectional title since 2012. They beat Sandusky that year. And I don't believe they have scored a goal in the tournament since, Hayden. Shut out each year since. So, whoa. That almost ended the shutout. Ralofsky. And I think that Mills maybe had some blocked vision here. As that one snuck through. Brennan just able to get a little chunk of it.
Yeah, that really displayed the power that it could take and the speed that it can pick up real quick on the turf. Almost went in from about 30, 35 yards out.
Another corner drifting back post. Pirates surrounding it off of the post. Tigers again living on the razor's edge, but
Man.
hey, sometimes when you live dangerously, It pays off, keeping that clean sheet.
Displayed beautifully on that Mechanics Bank instant replay. I mean, it could not have gone any more on the side of luck there for the Tigers. Got to get things locked down here on this corner.
Too much sauce behind this one, out for a goal kick. And a lot of the action here of late. Hanging down at this end, Lady Tigers have been defending for about 8 nonstop minutes. And the wind blowing directly in their face.
Yeah, it can get really taxing when you're just constantly, and frustrating when you have to defend for so long, especially when things are still notched at 0. You'd much rather have to defend like this when you may have, a 1 or more advantage.
Norris with some nice physical hustle play, able to keep it in the field of action. And here she is again. And the quick whistle gives the ball over to the Tigers.
I think they said she stepped out before Norris put a foot on it.
Nice battle going on in the midfield. Tigers take it away, but they just have not been able to connect, get things out to their wings. Not with any type of success so far. See if they can here. They will. It's Kyah on the run. Wentz turns it back inside, and the midfielder's just playing so far back right now. Very few options available for senior high.
Yeah, it's really kind of been ISO ball for them once they made they connected on some passes, but they're really relying on whoever's going to get the ball. In that case it was Wentz. They're really counting on you to make a couple cuts and moves and try and get a shot on goal. But I mean, you look at their numbers on the year, they spread the wealth in terms of goals. Merrill with 5, her sister with 8, Aubrey Duncan with 4, Kyah with 13, so they get spread around.
Right now, just relying on their senior and Ariana Merrill playing up top tonight to try to make a play for them. Though, do credit the Tigers' defense in the midfield, at least keeping a 0 on the scoreboard for now, but Perkins, they have been starting to get a little bit more of a confident strut in their step when they're getting into the attacking third, but the Tigers really hoping to flip the field here. Trying to take the ball out of their hands, but that's a really heavy first touch right back out of the field of play.
Yeah, for Mansfield Senior in these next few moments, I think small-term goals is going to be at least flipping the field a couple times, not letting Perkins possess it as frequent and as often as they have, and try and halt that confidence that's been building.
Mills off the punt, ball up for grabs. And it's going to be one here by Merrill. Tried to make a run to the outside. Defended well by Samantha Green, who stepped to the rock. Now Frankfather can't clear it. And that one will go out of bounds. Back over to Perkins. Going to make a quick substitution. Peyton Corso looks like she's going to be taking a quick seat. And Haley Bruner back into the field of play.
Sophomore checks in for Sandusky Perkins, and they're another team very similar to that of Senior High. Senior High, their only senior, Kyah Wentz. Just 3 seniors on this Lady Pirates squad too, who have won those back-to-back conference titles. So they look to continue building in their program as well.
Big shot. Mills with the save.
Wow.
Save number 5 for Brennan.
That one was, a bit of chaos again. Nutmeg there. Gets a good shot on goal, but Mills able to get up in time and then, fortunately, able to get the kick away there too. Avoid the second effort.
Ralofsky has been responsible for 4 of the 5 Perkins shots so far in the match. You can tell that she's the weapon that they are trying to dish to, and just let her cook when she gets up top. If she can set up that left foot, you saw, I mean, she strikes laser beams. Brennan Mills, though, just fearless back there, and right now she has been the lady of the match, keeping the Tigers at even, as that's a great-looking ball on the money for Kyah. But the swarming defense of the Pirates shuts it down, at least for now. Mansfield really heavily just trying to get it to Wentz, and through the 5-hole, that'll work.
Passing looking nice here on this possession.
And that's about the best that we've seen Mansfield Senior look in terms of just connecting passes and trying to get it into attacking position, Hayden.
By far, almost a nice opportunity for them to get inside the box and try and get a shot on goal. Try and build off that with, you know, just under 13 minutes that we have remaining in the first half.
Winner moving on to the district semifinals. That'll be played at Lexington, which is a grass surface.
Another incentive, chances are that match will be significantly, potentially warmer than we have tonight too. So big incentive, you know, get this out of the way tonight and get rewarded with a warmer matchup next.
Mother Nature, I mean, she's really like that Katy Perry song, you're hot, then you're cold. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know.
Well played out of the air there by Liana Marinick. But Mansfield right now, they've at least got 3 bodies forward, so a couple of options. But look at the midfield and how far back they are playing. This obviously has to be according to strategy. It's just a little bit surprising.
Yeah, 7 girls back on that possession for senior high, and it's just, it hasn't, they haven't given up any goals, so if it's part of their defensive strategy, it's paying off, but offensively, it's a bit of a hindrance here as well, as we still remain scoreless.
And the Tigers only have 1 shot, and it was a 47-yard shot. Wasn't even close. So I think for Myron Gregory and his staff, you know, maybe they've got a game plan in place and thinking about in the second half getting a little bit more aggressive. But against the defense that only allows half a goal per contest, you're going to want to drive some numbers forward and at least give some options for these 2 girls up top, both Merrill and Wentz. I mean, they're working really hard. It's just when you're going on a 5-on-1 just about every time, it's like trying to play the lotto. You know, you're just trying to pull numbers out of, you know, the midair. It's looked really challenging so far for the Tiger Row.
It has, and you know, I don't even want to begin to say that I am any form of expert on strategy here, but I agree. When you have a Perkins defense as daunting as it is, you'd think here maybe even inside 5 to 8 minutes that they would like to. It's one of those where I really think one may get the job done tonight, so try and play a little bit more aggressive and go get one on offense if you can.
That one's going to sneak its way through. Here comes Mansfield. They've got numbers if they want them. Merrill with the give and go, but it's going to be intercepted on the run here by Marinick. Pushes it out wide. McVeigh looking for a cross. Sets it up. Ralofsky with the left foot. Grabbing her ankle right now. She's down on the turf. Popping back up immediately. And thought maybe that one was deflected. But it's going to go out of bounds for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a rough start so far for their top 2 scorers, Ralofsky and McVeigh. I think if they continue to get looks like this, one of them ultimately will connect at some point this evening if they continue to, work with the freedom they've had down inside the box. But right now, the Lady Tigers, the beneficiary of the struggles they're having on offense.
Coach Myron electing to bring Kyah back to be a midfield winger. They'll hook up with her here. Good dish. Now well played by Annalise Norris, making a charge. Ball inbounds. She's such a physically gifted player. And off the deflection, Merrill wasn't able to get a whole lot of Tiger juice on that one, but it does serve as the second shot of the match.
as you noted, good hustle. That possession there from Norris, only a sophomore, but it's the same kind of physicality and speed that she brings, in multiple sports that she competes in here at Mansfield Senior.
A lot of these Lady Tigers soccer players, multi-sport athletes. As that's a giveaway. Right to Ralofsky. Sets it up for McVeigh. Turns it back inside. She fires one. And that one headed wide for corner kick number 6.
Tried to, stop on a dime there, which she did pretty well. Had a pretty good successful planning of her feet, but sailed too high and too wide.
They'll have McVeigh initiate. Sends it right to the middle of the field, and that one serves as the first goal of the match. Michaela Hartley, the junior. Right place, right time. Serves it up, hot and fresh for the lead.
One of those moments where, right place, right time, and always remember, even if you get the one stop or the one deflection initially, always sitting right there. You got to be on your heels and toes. One time Mills was kind of unsuccessful here tonight. The Lady Pirates going to take a 1-0 lead with 8:17 left to play in the first half.
7th shot produced by the Lady Pirates. And they're able to sink that one. Huge goal here in the early goings, especially with Topanga Farlow, the goalkeeper for the Pirates. School record 12 shutouts for her this season. So she's been really hard to get one by.
Take a look at one more time on our Mechanics Bank instant replay of the last goal scored there. We'll see, if that goal inspires any quicker change out of senior high with the time remaining in the first half, or if they'll be content to just try and limit it to a 1-point differential.
2 substitutions coming on here for the Pirates. They've definitely gone to their bench much more than senior high here in this opening half. Depth, bit of an issue for the Lady Tigers. They've got a solid starting 11. Then after that, a little bit of a dip off. And sometimes seeing that first one go in, it can spawn a little flurry of goals. So danger time here for the Lady Tigers, as the Pirates definitely have had the run of play here in this first half.
Yeah, depth certainly is an issue. On the active varsity roster, the Lady Tigers list 13, and on the opposing side for the Lady Pirates, they have 20. But that is one perk, too, for Perkins when you're able to bring fresh bodies in, even if it's just for a few minutes to get some of those key players and starters some rest.
Second foul of this first half is going to go against Mansfield Senior, Annalise Norris. Big contact there going through Ashlyn Beatty, the defender. Ball sneaks down. McVeigh with a touch, I think, almost off of a senior high player.
A great hustle, kind of similar to in basketball when you're falling out of bounds trying to throw it off your defender. Same thing can happen in soccer. You don't see a ton of them go for it that often, but great hustle displayed from McVeigh Senior High. Will take the ball, though.
Just 5.5 minutes remaining here before we reach the halftime break. Rain still coming down sideways into the Lady Tigers' face. They've had difficulty creating offensive opportunities. 2 shots so far on the night for Mansfield. Both of them on net, but neither were really any threat to beat Topanga Farlow.
No, they really haven't had a quality shot on goal or anything that's really been of concern that Topanga wouldn't be able to secure. So I think if they can see one of those, even if it doesn't result in a goal, I think once they start generating a little bit more quality looks, that momentum can build and it kind of draws you back into the action.
For all you Guardians fans out there, it is over. I saw the final 5-1. Season's over. What a fun season it was, though, for the Cleveland baseball team. One of the most overachieving squads that I can ever remember.
Yeah, it was definitely sad seeing it get delayed last night and then couldn't get the job done today. But as we say with a lot of Ohio sports, there's always next year. Minus the Buckeyes, but yeah, that's true. They do get next year's, but
big hot shot taken there by Caitlin Frankfather. Push it out wide to the right, so it's another goal kick here for the Tigers. And you see the ball, how windy it is. It just started rolling right before the point of contact.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, once they flip sides in the second half, if we see play kind of continue like this, that'll kind of give us the true answer to who. Time of possession has been a little bit difficult to gauge tonight. We've had to factor in a few external elements.
There's Mills with save number 6. Ball bouncing around, now taking out the feet of Merrill. Looking to push the tempo. And that's kind of been the decision-making for both her and Wentz tonight. They're seeing multiple defenders and just trying to go straight through them, use some of their physicality. And it just has not been able to generate too many quality looks, really any.
No, they're just too late to the chase right now as a unit. There will be one or two of them that quickly display that Tiger speed and get down the field, but by the time you have any opportunity to try and set, a line up to cross it over, there's just no one there until the ball already in Topanga's arms.
Lady Tigers looking for some short time magic here as Ariel Merrill starting to move her motion up. She flicks it to the middle of the field for Norris, steps through a defender, and it's taken away at least for now. Another nice job by the sweeper to come through and just clear the rock and not allow Mansfield to hang around offensively. Just a big swinging kick and drive it out of your end.
Yeah, anything once under 2 minutes now too. Obviously, they're still trying to fight to get goals of their own, but just drive killers for the Lady Tigers when Perkins able to just launch it back 30, 40, 50 yards at a time.
Ball squirts through, but Wentz comes back, does a nice job of getting possession momentarily before she's stripped here by Wiersba. Perkins down to $1.15. Giving away possession. Quick move to the inside, and Tigers off the deflection.
See, now here's a chance. Hustle, we can see they got numbers.
Big run made by Duncan, lays it off Merrill. Back post. Kind of would like to see her get a little bit more aggressive with that as Barcelona is able to chase it down.
Still have a chance, 30 seconds and counting though.
Norris trying to thread the needle into Kyah Wentz. Has it hop back to her feet. Down to 15 seconds. And the Tigers just do miss out on an opportunity there.
Just not enough anticipation or readiness as to where the ball's going to be. I mean, you take a look at that. That's going to haunt them here in the first half.
It will take us to the break with Sandusky Perkins up on the road 1-0 right now. The difference, a Hartley goal at the 8:17 mark. We'll step aside. We will return with some stats. Me and Hayden will give you our impressions of the first half, read off some of your comments you've dropped on the YouTube and the Facebook, and also take a look at the stats from the first half. So keep it here. We will be right back after this short commercial break.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every week with my Country Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. That's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Very nice look to Denbo. Beautiful behind the back move. Oh my goodness, ankle breaker. And it's the shot. Wow.
Being aggressive and traveling, or he's trapping.
Inside to Holloway. 2-on-2 fast break. Ramsey has it, takes it herself. Off the glass. And Curfew comes back.
Number one receiver coming from the Shelby Whippets, Isaiah Ramsey.
He's caught our attention over here, and we're certainly going to keep an eye on the Willard Flashes.
We will see you next week on the Stat Leaders, brought to you by Spitzer of Mansfield.
halftime at a very soggy Arlin Field here on the corner of 4th Street and Trimble in Mansfield, Ohio. Brian Skowronski and Hayden Gray with you on a call here that's seen Sandusky Perkins score once. Lady Tygers not just yet, as the Pirates lead it 1-0. This is your halftime report brought to you by the Mansfield City School District Levy, and this is the fast facts that you need to know, okay? So if you're a taxpayer here in Mansfield City School District, there is zero increase for taxpayers if you vote yes on the November 8th ballot. The levy is going to generate almost $8 million per year for the district, funds that they desperately need for day-to-day operations, things paying just for teachers, staff, supplies, and utilities. And it would also replace 2 emergency operating levies that were passed in 2017. So it all seems like it's for the better of Mansfield City Schools. I am a voter here in the district. I will be checking yes on the box at the ballot on November the 8th. All right, we're going to dive into some of your guys' comments on the YouTube right now, and I see Keith Mark. He's been active so far tonight. He's got on sweatpants, a hoodie, and multiple blankets. Maybe he's here in the stadium.
He could be.
Just thanking us for covering the game. Said, you're doing a great job, Hayden. The weather tonight, though, is miserable. Tiger Crawl cheering on the Tigers. Says, let's go TY. Kim, she's on the opposite side of the equation.
Oh.
She'd like to let us know, hey, let's go Perkins. Jen Johnson complimenting a save at some point. I got to imagine it was one of those heroic saves by Brennan Mills, keeping this just a 1-0 game. Jen chiming in again. Let's go Tigers. This is tournament time. They're always playing on the football field, says Kimberly Ann Carr. And Alexis just dropped us the latest comment. She's cheering on Annalise Norris, who's been solid so far tonight. She's definitely had the most solid truck stick that we've seen. Picked up a big foul. And for both of these teams, Hayden, it has been a long time since they have tasted success in the tournament. You're looking at Mansfield Senior trying to win a sectional title for the first time since 2012. So they have not scored in the tournament since then in 10 years. And on the other side, the last playoff win for Perkins, you want to guess when that was?
All right. More than 3 to 5 seasons?
It's been even longer than the Tigers drought.
Shoo.
They're looking for their first win in tournament since 2011 when they beat Clyde 3-2. I don't know if they've ever won a sectional title. Here are your halftime stats brought to you by the Tigers of Tomorrow. Do vote yes on the Tiger Renewal levy on November the 8th. And you see the shot differential very heavily favoring Perkins. They had a great, I would say, about 15-minute stretch, Hayden, where they took command of the match. They were playing down in the attacking third. A lot of quality looks. Brennan Mills held her own, keeping it just a 1-0 game. But certainly the Pirates were the more aggressive, better team offensively in that first half.
They were, and it became evident, after about the first 15, 20 minutes, really once we got into that second portion of the first half, they definitely started connecting more on their passes, getting better looks, and once they were able to let one get in, too, I think that probably took a little bit of that mental aspect out of things, too. It's a bit deflating on the other side for the Lady Tigers. It seems like matches we've been at this year, teams get one in, very close, if not right before halftime, and that can be a difference maker a lot of the time. So, I anticipate the second half being a lot about response from either side. Is Perkins going to be able to maintain the same aspect and portion of play we saw towards the end of the second half, or will Mansfield Senior come out and respond? And I'm sure Coach got to have some changes made, during the halftime.
Here's going to be a fun time lapse that we took during pregame, and I think this also takes you into some of the introductions, if I'm not mistaken. We'll all find out together here. I'm very curious to see, Hayden, now how much of an impact Mansfield Senior flipping and now playing offense with the wind, what is that going to do for them in terms of trying to play those big, thick through balls and just allow a couple of their fast Tigers to run up, make a play? Because for Perkins, you saw that they were the beneficiary of certainly a few goal kicks and some clears for Mansfield that just didn't go very far because the wind blowing right in their face. it seems like the rain's even coming down harder than it did in the first half.
Yeah, and it's clear to say, Perkins wasn't handed a goal is not at all what we're saying because of some of those elements, but I am really interested to see will Mansfield Senior be able to benefit off of some of those same things. It was just so hard for them to push the goal or the ball beyond their own, 30-yard line with the direction and the impact of the wind. Mills, despite her best effort, just not able to get it out very far. But I'm really interested to see what's going to take place with the changing of sides.
And this is what we're looking at moving forward here. The Division II Lexington District on the horizon. The semifinal contest will feature the winner of this game and then also the victor between Columbian and Ontario, who is a big favorite to emerge this season and get onto the regionals for the first time for them in 6 years. 5 straight years we've seen Madison overtake the Lady Warriors for the championship in the district. And I know Warriors fans kind of tired of that scenario. They're ready to move on.
Yeah, they've been fed up with that for a while, and I think they've got a good bunch together to do that this year. That's something I'm going to be paying attention to a lot, I feel like, in the second half, too, is really seeing, watching how either of these teams, obviously both would also be considered underdogs to an Ontario team, but just trying to see how I think they would match up with the Lady Warriors. I know another game that went down tonight, Mansfield Christian Lady Flames defeated Galleon 8-0 in their girls sectional semifinal.
That's a team I've had the opportunity to see with my own eyes 3-4 times this season, and they're really, really good against inferior opponents. When they've gone against some of the big-time foes, the Division II opponents, hasn't gone real well for them. Fortunately, they don't have to play any more D2s. They're in the Division III tournament, and I'm expecting at least a trip to the district for the Lady Flames this year, who have struggled a bit when they've got into playoff mode here for about the last 5-6 seasons.
I definitely could see that coming, and obviously Mansfield Senior would like to be another Mansfield team with success this year, and obviously both teams took, I think, probably about every second allotted to them to come on out, but Lady Tigers, that Tiger juice was present down there for the last few moments on the sideline, so I'm excited to see how that will translate into second half play for them.
And they got to be excited just to not be playing Madison in the tournament.
Right?
They've had to face them the last 3 years in their opener. 4-0 last year was the best they did. 11-0 when Taylor Huff was around, and then 10-0 the year before that. So just a new, fresh opponent, and for Mansfield, getting to play at home. This is big time for them. They haven't got to do this in tournament action. I don't remember the last time.
Shoo. It's got to be, it's got to go back in the books for quite some time.
Oh, great looking pass down into the corner here. Just a bit mismeasured for Duncan, who made a charge at it. But for Mansfield, that's the first time in the match that they've had the 18 surrounded.
Yeah, there were 3 Tigers, Lady Tigers closer to midfield on that possession, but a little bit more aggressive. I think slowly, one by one, Coach Gregory going to start moving the back line up and get more aggressive. I think they lost the ball there for a second.
Yeah, Merrill certainly, I think she was expecting it to be on the opposite side.
I think more of a slip than anything there.
Now Wentz almost was able to bring it up top for Merrill. I think this should lead. Well, it's actually, I thought there was no question that this was going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, that.
And the replay
takes a definite.
Correct.
Completely redirected.
So a tough break here for the Lady Tigers, as they have not had a set piece yet. No fouls against Perkins. That would have been their first corner opportunity, and a missed call there by the referee. So it's going to lead to a goal kick. But we saw in the first half how challenging this was for Senior High, and it gets caught up in the wind right there for the Pirates. So clearly going from left to right here on your TV screen or however you're watching on your phone, it's a lot more beneficial, as there's the first shot for any team in the second half, but it's gobbled up by Topanga.
Bit of a closer look this time for Annalise, about 15 yards out on that attempt, 20 yards. She has 5 goals this season, so getting her involved, in basketball, you say shoot or shoot, and, you're a shooter in soccer too, so try and get her some more looks and get those inside a little bit closer. And I think that's going to have to be the route the Tigers are going to take if they want to find the back of the net, is working it in close and inside.
Duncan making a hard charge. Ball staying in the field of play. Pirates connecting with a couple of passes. Not on that last one, though. Out of reach for Corso. Quick throw in for the Tigers. You see balls just seemingly sneaking by. A couple of defenders here over the last minute or so.
Tried to lay that one up to the outside for Corso.
Now this shot blistered off of the hands of Mills, and then the follow deflected as well. So Ralofsky with the first shot. McVeigh couldn't dish it up here off the spill.
It makes me anxious just watching those, and we're forever away from up here in the booth, and Mills has just done a nice job of helping her team avoid disaster several times.
See Brennan just trying to stretch out her back. Pirates sending 6 girls into the box. Mills overruns it. Ball up for grabs. And it's set up. Taylor made. But Ralofsky overshoots the mark.
Well, it was another golden opportunity. Mills had to fight back, but ball pinballs around for a little bit and just overshot. I mean, if it was football, the other football, there's 3 points, but no goal for the Lady Pirates on that attempt.
Battle for the ball here in the midfield, and sometimes I kind of like these opportunities like we saw from right there, just pulling up from distance from Wiersba. You never know how the ball's going to hop here. I mean, look, you can see the rain. That's rare on our cameras that you can actually notice how it's actually coming out here with the wind, but it's so thick and the wind blowing really hard right now. It's got to be gusts between 15 and 20 miles an hour at times.
Yeah, I thought it started to slow up a little bit at the end of the first half going into the break, but we took a look at what was ahead to come for the next couple hours, and it doesn't look like anything will change.
Nah, get used to this. And we were joking around before the match. Maybe there should be some hazard pay for the officials out here braving it. Fortunate just to have a couple of officials in Mansfield. Unfortunate there, as they had 6 players up. And certainly you see Coach Gregory, he's made an adjustment. He's allowing his midfielders to get a little bit more involved in the offensive strategy of things. This is where it can leave you open to a counterattack.
Offside.
And that'll be the first time that we have offside on either side. This one against McVeigh, a couple steps off.
Yeah, you could tell, and most often, rather than not, the players can tell themselves too. You'll see them slow up and be like, well, darn. It's all about timing on those plays, and just the first time tonight, as you mentioned, for either side. So it's been rather clean in that department. And I think you might be a little bit of a meteorology wizard, Brian. You guessed the wind speed exactly at 15 miles per hour.
Well, I can just tell by out here, Hayden. I see these are actually. I don't even think it's rain at this point. This is definitely it's a mix.
Yeah,
of snow and rain at this point.
Yeah, it's moved over now.
Couple of nice balls. They'll set up McVeigh here on the near side. Tigers defense doing a solid job, stepping up when they need to. Emma Sturzinger just checked in for Sandusky Perkins. Looks like she's going to take over kind of a center mid role for them.
And you'll see on these breakaway moments, I mean, we've got those 4 Tigers still. They don't begin to run even. They still trail back and usually hang out around, between the 40 and 50. So not much change there yet in terms of offensive aggressiveness.
And perhaps some of that strategy as well just built into the fact that only 13 players on the roster, as you mentioned, so there's just not a whole lot of opportunities to get breaks, as that nearly was a big break for the Tigers as it bounced right in front of Ariana. She got a left foot on it, but couldn't direct it on frame.
About 5-10 feet, too wide left. Be a goal kick for the Lady Pirates.
But for Mansfield, you got to feel energized here. You've already produced as many shots in the first 7 minutes as you did the entire first half alone. So with the wind not blowing directly in your grill, you're able to focus a little bit more, and you see here getting the ball back, trying to provide some options up top.
And those even kind of become good opportunities, golden opportunities for the Tigers. I mean, that ball off the goal kick bounced at the 18, so start moving. You know, that backline's creeping up slowly on opportunities when they can keep it on their side longer, but now they'll have to push back.
Senior High playing with 3 back on the defensive line. And they've played a pretty deep line. Not really crossed midfield at any point tonight. Not a lot of pressure from Mansfield in the midfield. Now they will with Kyah. Trying to drive it out to the wing for Duncan. And a bit of a break, a turnover. Tigers with a 3-on-4 set up for Norris. Makes a move to the touchline. And knocks it off the defender, so this will lead to the first corner kick of the match for TY.
No question this time, official was in great position to see this one, and without a doubt, Mansfield Senior will indeed get that corner kick they deserve.
Norris tees it up. And then, well, you guys can't see it on your screen. She made a quick kick of it. Got it in play. And nearly a little bit of trickery paid off for Mansfield. I have not seen that strategy before.
That's a first.
That was pretty smooth.
And I mean, in solid execution, it nearly worked, as you said. Just a matter of inches away from not working.
Because Annalise sold it, unless that was a total accident. She gave it just a little baby touch, and then she jogged. She didn't put too much behind it, and then all of a sudden you saw just moving out there in a hurry was Ariel, and maybe the Tigers, you know, just serving up something new and fresh.
Yeah, maybe we'll never know. That's one of those, I think, if it is a mistake, Annalise would surely tell us that it was planned just that way.
Mm-hmm. Here she is, sending one down into the corner. So a deep throw in on the way here for Haley Bruner. She'll throw it in and turn it over. Wentz with a short pass here in traffic. Big shot. And handled by Topanga Farlow.
Really only the first bit of a risky moment for her. The ball was bobbled a little bit, but still, you know, the next closest Tiger was 8 to 10 yards away. Ball never touched the ground again, though.
After Ambler puts it out, Beatty with a fast throw-in. Long dribble here to the outside. They'll send it for McVeigh. She's really been favoring that right foot tonight.
Trying to work it inside.
But Kyah Wentz doing a great job that time. Pressuring all over the field, and looks like she's earned a throw-in for Mansfield.
Big shout out to the troopers down there in the stands. I think they've sitting has just been kind of given up. Bleachers were already wet when we arrived, so just try and maintain that feeling in your feet and your toes.
Nights like tonight are exactly why people like us exist, Hayden. No need to come out here and brave the weather. Unless, I mean, if you're willing to come out here and support, of course.
Right.
But if you just kind of want to see the result of the match, we always got you covered.
Yeah, I mean, to plug the Levy one more time, too, I mean, without a doubt, vote yes. I mean, you know, I believe utilities were included on that, and we certainly are on the receiving end of that tonight in this heated press box, so we certainly don't want that going away.
Long run for Merrill. She's going to get a one-on-one with the keeper. Still up for grabs. We're tied at 1. What a huge turn of events here for Mansfield Senior. That's what they've been waiting for. Ariana Merrill, goal number 9 on the season, just kept tracking the ball, and that's exactly what they've needed.
Fantastic job, like you said, Brian. Doesn't give up after the first one. Continues to roll with things. Still not an easy give there. As Samantha Green was still on the defensive for the Lady Pirates, but completely tied this thing back up. 27 minutes to play, just over. It's anyone's ball game. And I think we're finally back to a bit of an even momentum matchup. Probably favoring the Lady Tigers, though, right after that one a little bit here.
And just with the wind blowing the way that it is right now, it's having obvious major impact. So Mansfield benefiting right now here in the second half. They'll still have 27 minutes of it. Wentz got a full piece of that one. It's going to skip and stay inbounds. Still running. And then finally just making a decision there was Beatty. So nice break here for Mansfield Senior.
You know, Tigers hustling down too, trying to at least get even numbers.
They're going to flip the field with Duncan now to the middle with Merrill. Tried to find Wentz. Bringing the defenseman now into the offense. Didn't work out that time with Ambler. Pushing it out of bounds over on the Perkins side of things.
Just not a lot of passing lanes being given up by Perkins here on this possession. But they too struggling to, you know, connect with each other and their teammates and move the ball back up in their direction.
Lady Pirates now sinking everybody back into a defensive role. And it pays off as they come away with possession. McVeigh on the run. She's got Ralofsky with her. Makes a nice deke here on Merrill, but she recovers nicely.
Ball's going to stay in, too. Just rolls out.
That was interesting. The Ariel didn't even make a run after it. Just assumed it was going to make its way out.
It's one of those tough things in soccer, too. I think there's just so much space. It's hard to assume anything. A lot of the times, if, you know, out filming a game or filming a highlight, you'll think clearly the ball's rolling out of bounds, but there's still a battle left to be had right at that line.
Back and forth we go with some giveaways on a chilly night here in the city of Mansfield. Temperatures in the 30s. We've got a wintry mix here on hand. A few snowflakes, quite a bit of rain. And it's going to be all misery for the team that comes out of tonight's hard-fought match on the losing end.
Yeah, you know, whatever team has to face that unfortunate fate tonight, sometimes when it's this nasty out, even the most simplest things can cheer you up, but a victory would make it much more sweet here tonight.
Perkins got the 18 surrounded.
Gotta get this ball cleared if you're Mansfield.
Instead, it ends with Frank Father. Shot number 5 here in the second half for them. 3 of them have tested Brennan Mills. She's been sharp so far tonight. 9 saves for Brennan. Now here's Kyah. Deflected out of bounds.
Certainly good conditioning and some tough practice and preparation for either team that comes out of tonight when they'll have to face the winner of Columbia and Ontario. You know, I think Ontario and Shelby faced maybe a little bit of the overlap of this weather, but that match started at 5 tonight, so didn't have to face as much precipitation as we're seeing now. Annalise finally getting both those cleats tied. Adam, our producer, pointed out to me that both of them completely untied. I don't know if that came into play on the corner kick trickery, but nor how he noticed it from all the way up here, but he's got those eagle eyes.
I mean, how about the sportsmanship, though? Basketball on one leg, McVeigh on the other. You
Pretty
don't
cool moment, man.
Matter of fact, I'm going to go on record and say that's the first time I've ever seen an opposing player tie another girl's shoe.
Yeah, that's the ultimate at the sportsmanship. You know, we'll have to clip that up and tag the OHSA in that one. Both of those girls, you know, deserve some recognition there.
Because, I mean, and especially when it's so cold out there.
Yeah,
you don't use your fingers like that. Not for the opposition. No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, most of us would be begging our best friend. I mean, I'd have to be begging one of you to try and tie my shoe when it was this cold. Yeah. We'd have to switch over to Velcro.
Yeah, sorry, Hayden. Your fingers look like they work just fine to me.
Yeah.
I know you've got your gloves on.
Yeah, I do. You know, bit of a diva up here tonight, even with the heat. Have some medium gloves on.
Ball trickles its way just into the outside of the box. Fast run knocked out here by Marinek. Throwing into heavy traffic, Merrill. Just such a bruiser in there. Tough to get her off the line. Kyah looked like she was trying to set up for a shot from distance.
Did look like she was ready to strike. The ball just kind of, I think, got pushed in front of her rather quickly. As the Lady Pirates look to, you know, get over, I think they have been facing some of those same challenges the Lady Tigers were. It's obviously caused issues. Haven't been able to get into scoring area with as much ease as they did in the first half.
Ball flicked out of bounds from Wentz. And I think a lot of it is just that when you're running into the wind like this with the rain coming down as hard as it is, just like the vision and being able to continually focus, it's just bearing down right in your eyeballs.
Yeah, there's not much that can help you take that away. No goggles, no visor, got to help that.
Ariana lays it back for Ariel. Good-looking feed through the middle. Just out of the reach of Kyah. Tigers playing a little bit of a higher line here now with the defensive unit. And as we've seen on a few occasions here, Noelle Ambler content. Just knocking out of bounds. Let the Pirates have to deal with the throw-in.
Yeah, we've crept back down to, you know, under 19 and a half left to play. So urgency will probably slowly start to trickle up for both teams. Neither team, I'm sure, looking forward to getting off the field, but don't want their seasons to come to an end tonight. Because obviously we talked about it in our pregame. This would be a huge step in the right direction for both of these programs who have been in these postseason droughts.
Here's Maggie, has to turn it in. Deflected off the shot. Another deflection. So the Tigers willing to give up the body. And it pays off here. But for Maggie McVeigh, she's just not allowed herself to use that left foot. She's trying to turn it back towards the middle of the park just about every time. It definitely cost her there. Meanwhile, Tigers looking to flip the script, and they will. Possession coming up. Norris has been busy off the throw-ins on the near side. Slung shot. Back to the other corner. And the Wentz, you see, just driving that ball out of play.
Not enough. You could try to hustle, and then that flagpole viciously in your way as well. Not sure. A little bit confusion. I don't know if Sandusky realized it would be their goal kick to have here.
Want to throw out some love to some of the ball boys or girls that are out there working the sidelines tonight. Sometimes it's just not worth that cup of hot chocolate to give up 2 hours of your night when you're in conditions like this. So big, mad kudos to I see at least 3 of them out there doing their thing.
Yeah, man. I was going to say, sometimes you struggle even on a nice night. Nothing wrong with the conditions and probably, like you said, some promised free food. You struggle to get them. Tonight, it was the last game I saw, last match I expected to see them at, and they're out here getting it done. And that's a vital part. You play a vital role. You got to keep that clock doesn't stop for much. So nice job by them.
Lady Tigers have certainly not made a substitution in the second half. Have you noticed them bring in a player off the bench yet, Hayden? Or are they going just these 11?
I have not. I don't know if Perkins has really even utilized too many, but there have been some. But I have yet to see a change in lineup for the Lady Tigers. Yeah. Trying to make out how many are even on the sideline. They're huddled so closely together.
Foul's going to go here, obviously, against Ariana Merrill. Check it out on the Mechanics Bank replay. I just don't think that she was looking at the ball and the defender drove her away there, Ashlyn Beatty. And look at how red her face is. All these girls.
Yeah, man, they are.
Man. Warm showers never probably sounded so fun.
Oh, man.
Off the restart. See who they have elect to kick this. They've got a couple girls lined up. Now it's going to be Marianic. Skips its way by her friend there, Frank Father.
And I know we talked a little bit before the match, too. This has probably got to be one of the closer, matches between an SBC team and one of the teams from our counties down here. We talked about how traditionally, especially with our coverage, things don't always bode well when an SBC school comes down and takes on one of the powers from our 5 conferences.
This shot goes out of play. You just look at the track record for Sandusky Perkins the last 3 years in tournament. They checked in last year, basically the same exact record as this season, 12-2-3. They get blown out 5-0 against Lexington in the first round. 2020, first round against Ontario, 10-0. And then the previous year, again, a double-digit win team, and they get embarrassed by Ontario 10-0 again. So easily the most competitive that they've been against one of these Richland County teams in recent memory. And I look back at their statistics for the last dozen years. No playoff wins, of course, since 2011, but they had to beat Clyde, another SBC school, to do it.
So definitely on that right path for Coach McVeigh and staff. But it goes to to show too. Conference championships don't always. You definitely want to compete for them, but they don't always equate to instant success in the tournament. So it takes time to, build a program that bodes successful, and I think that's what they're doing up there in Sandusky Perkins, trying to look for that key piece, a tournament win tonight.
Here's the Tigers pushing numbers forward. Kind of a heavy touch there. But you see the orange jerseys starting to make their way into the attacking third as that takes a bit of a strange hop away from Merrill. Sensing a little bit of frustration from her as that's going to roll out of bounds here on the near side. And for the Pirates, sitting back and defending, keeping 4 girls, keeping an eye on these 3 players up top here for the Lady Tigers, and they've got some bruisers. I think that's certainly where Mansfield has done a lot of damage throughout the season, is just having some players that they're not scared of physical contact. Annalise tonight at times, we just saw Ariana. I mean, they'll truck through you, and it doesn't bother them.
Nah, and you got to have that too. When you're going to move throughout the tournament, you're going to run into teams that match that same physicality as you. So if you're able to find that on your team and, work on it throughout the year, it's going to help you when you have to go on to face bigger, better teams.
I like that creativity and setup. Didn't work out there from Basilone. 1v1 moves. They've definitely been on a premium tonight. We haven't seen a whole lot of girls showcasing some fancy foot skills and getting around defenders.
Yeah.
That one threaded through from Sophia. Didn't have anybody making a charge, though. And now the Pirates just going to skip one into the box and force Brennan to come out and make a play.
Man, it gets risky for the goalkeeper in Mills' position to try and come out when you're kicking into that wind. That ball can stop real quick. So if Perkins follows it or has anyone trail the ball, you can get into an open net situation. But so far, hasn't been an issue.
That's a nice carry and run by Kyah and put it on the money, setting up Ariana. Doesn't lead to a shot, though, for the Tigers, who do have 7 here in the second half, only producing 2 in the first. Had a lot better looks, more success, and a more aggressive mindset in the second stanza so far.
Yeah. Been in a little bit of that stalemate we saw at the beginning of the first half again here towards the end of the match. Obviously, both teams critically looking for a goal, so I think the emphasis on defense also goes up. It goes hand in hand. You want to get down there and score, but you also don't want to relax your defense to do so and give up a goal.
See Farlow making a nice clean break, not allowing Ariel to get in there. Kyah falls to the ground. She takes a shot from 30 yards out and handled by Topanga, whose father, a former Perkins football coach. Setting the standard for the program. 12 shutout victories this season for her. Broke the record previously set just last year by Faith Foltz. So this Pirates program, as you mentioned, definitely on the fast track to success. And you can say the same thing about Mansfield Senior. I mean, they've been a doormat here in the area for a long time. They went 500 last season with Coach Myron taking over, and I talked about how they've just been obliterated by Madison in the tournament. Just a 0-4 game last year, and now here they are hosting a tournament game at home and looking for win number 9. So these are 2 programs that, no matter the outcome tonight, got to be excited about the future because these are 2 really young teams.
Well, I look back, too. I know we covered Mansfield Senior when they hosted Madison over at Malabar this year. Now, it was 7-0. Madison did take that one, but that was one of those we were really excited. Or, that first half, it was one of those where I believe 3 or 4 of those were tacked on in the last 15 or so minutes in the second half. So I think we have seen that this gap has been closing, and they continue to do so with Coach Gregory and staff.
Also know Ariana Merrill in that match against the Lady Rams. See what a difference maker she can be. Got the lone goal of the night for TY. And here she is pressing forward. They'll try to get it to her in the middle of the park. And she has been drawing double and triple teams the entire contest, not shying away.
Eight minutes and 35 seconds remaining now in the second half.
And we'll see if that ends up being enough time for one of these teams to sneak one in for the go-ahead goal. as the Tigers pick up their 3rd foul of this second half.
Yeah, you sure know that neither team ideally looking for extra time added on. Footprint starting to show up on the turf now.
Yeah, when you got the frost
Yeah,
on the
come on,
form,
man.
you know it is chilly. Big charge here by Merrill, but handled by Topanga, no problem.
Goal kicks have been improving. She's been able to get some distance on these last several, improving all the way from about the 18 back out to about the 45.
Get a substitution in the midfield now. Looks like Emma Sturzinger is going to get some action as Bruner heads over Lily Tom actually to the sideline. Pirates reversing field over to the other side, and I think this is probably the right play to have Maggie McVeigh over here as much as she's been favoring her dominant foot. Allow her to go to the touchline with that big, strong right foot. She sets up the cross. Pirates remain on the attack as the Tigers pack it in, but off the deflection, it will set up a corner kick.
And if they can try and work for some of those again, I think you're right. You know, McVeigh continues to be the creator on offense, trying to get something going, trying to cross one in to a teammate, and they'll try and connect here on the corner kick.
They'll send it to the middle of the field. Brienne eventually collects. And then Mills. Low punt on target, right where it needed to be. Merrill gave it away, but recollects.
No, not a lot of hustle out of the Tigers here. Trying to get something set up. Just too much sauce on that one.
Yeah, heavy pass there from Kyah Wentz, the senior, trying to deliver it to Kat Bryan out on the wing. She's been quiet, hasn't had a whole lot of touches since she's checked in up top. Now Kyah lays it off. Norris, big shot, takes a skip to Penga into her clutches on the 9th shot here for the Tigers in the second half.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. That ball comes off with a lot of speed, but that just hasn't been the recipe for the Tigers tonight. The long ball, I think they've got to try and spread things out. A lot of congestion around between the 30 and 20, you know, some passes back and forth, but I think they've got to spread the field.
Keep lining up some comments here on our Facebook and our YouTube streams. I see you guys out there. A lot of love for the Tigers coming in. From Jen, I see you cheering on Kyah, Ariana, and Ariel. Let's go, TY. Greg Atkinson saying, let's go, TY. Richland County Pride. Assistant coach, of course, for the Ontario Lady Warriors. The likely future opponent of the victor tonight. And this one served up just a little bit too far. So do get in the game. Love hearing from you, the fans, about what you're seeing from the action here tonight as we're approaching 4 minutes remaining in regulation. If it does go to overtime, we'll get the golden goal for 2 15-minute halves, I believe, and then penalty kicks. Merrill trying to end any possibility of that with that shot. But the wind takes it wide right.
And we're certainly lined up for late game heroics from either side tonight under that 4-minute mark. So with the pace of the match and the way things have gone, if anyone's able to get one in here in this last 3 minutes and 35 seconds, that would all but do it.
Norris intercepted that one right off the rip. Gets deflected off of her out of bounds. Pirates are going to have a throw in deep in their own territory. So this at least allows for Mansfield to keep some of that pressure up. Throw down the near side. Ends up back at the feet of the Pirates, but they deflect it off their own.
I mean, if there's a time, is there a time, Brian, I know a bit more of a soccer strategist than I, is there a time where you want to just bring everyone up and go all guns a-blazing, try, or do you stay safe and kind of keep 4 back there and play for overtime?
This is definitely it's a tough decision here for Mansfield Senior because the score is tied, but with the wind blowing the way that it is, I think that you can sacrifice one defender getting a little bit more involved in the mix up top, because even if the Perkins Pirates try to blast a big through ball, it's just not going to make it there. There's too much wind right in your face. All the rain has now turned into snowflakes out here. But the Pirates, with 2:20 left, they've got the throw in here deep in senior high territory. But the senior Wentz there to make the stop. Big ball reversing fields now. And it's taken away. Tigers looking to press forward. A lot of space out here for McVeigh.
Just too much.
So the clock continuing to melt away down to roughly 90 seconds remaining in regulation. A score on either side, so much joy, and then also just so much despair if you're on the bad end of it. Pirates looking for a stunner here on the road. Ralofsky's definitely been very quiet here in the second half. She was cooking with the salt in the first. Don't even think she's had a shot here.
I don't think so, and she was. She was that primary shot creator that allowed Perkins to really feel like they controlled in the first half. Mansfield Senior trying to make one final push.
Wentz, quick one-timer for Norris. Sails out of bounds here on the near side.
Just 30 seconds remain here in the first half.
And bad throw-in. Slipped out of the hands there of Marnick. Will we see some late match heroics here
I would lose
from
my
Beatty?
mind.
Now it's Ralofsky taking on a double team. Tried to set up the left-footed shot. And it's knocked away at the last second by Ariel Merrill. We are headed to overtime, folks, to decide a sectional crown. Tigers and Pirates all locked up at 1.
Happy Halloween.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. And if you car dance to this song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Nice look to Denbo. Behind the back move. Oh my goodness, ankle breaker. And it's the shot. Wow.
Being aggressive and traveling. Are you trapping?
Inside to Holloway. 2-1-2 fast break. Ramsey has it. Takes it herself. Off the glass. And Curfew comes back.
Welcome back to Arlin Field, where two halves of soccer not enough for the Lady Tygers, going toe-to-toe right now with the Pirates of Perkins. We are deadlocked at 1 apiece. Big shout out to our sponsors, Mechanics Bank, and then also the Mansfield City Schools Levy Committee for bringing you tonight's action live and free so that you didn't have to come out here and brave the blizzard. And these are the reasons why it makes sense to approve the levy for Mansfield City Schools. Check yes on the ballot November 8th if you live here within the district. Zero increase for you taxpayers. It's going to generate about $8 million, and it really is just taking care or taking the place of two emergency levies that were passed 5 years ago. So it all just makes sense to support the Tigers of tomorrow. Well, Hayden, for the Tigers of today and what we've seen so far through two halves of play, we'll bring up the stats brought to you by the Tiger Levy Committee. It's a lot more even now than it was in that first half, so clearly the impact of the weather, we didn't know exactly what it would mean in terms of going from left to right or right to left on your screen, but that's made all the difference.
It has, and I haven't been at a match this year with overtime, so remind me, will they change again here at the beginning of this overtime, or will they maintain what we saw in the second half?
I think that they will switch sides.
Okay.
There is no overtime during the regular season is why you haven't seen it yet.
That's very true.
And this is opening
That's why there's ties.
Of the tournament, at least for us here on the
Yes.
OH Report. So we're going to get 15 minutes of action, and regardless, it is not golden goal, so I was wrong about that. So if one team scores, they're still going to play out the remainder of that 15-minute session, and they are indeed flipping sides here, Hayden. So Lady Tigers are going to be at the disadvantage for this 15-minute session, and they're definitely going to have to dig in their heels defensively, though they generated 10 shots there when they were going with the wind, just 2 the opposite direction. 9 shots for Perkins in the first half. They were only able to generate 5 there in half number 2. So we'll see if the fortunes will change for the Lady Pirates now that they've got the wind favoring them. Blowing, gusting, I should say, from left to right on your smartphone, tablet, TV, PC, however you're watching. But the first touch is a nice one here for the Tigers. They get it to Kyah Wentz, who just elects to drill it and test the keeper a bit. And with the frost starting to form out there on the field, I don't think any shot's really a bad shot at this juncture of the match.
Yeah, previously in the second half, I'd kind of thought, it's got to come in the short game. But once you reach overtime, you're right. I think just let it rip. You'd be surprised at the ones that'll go in that you thought had no chance. Lady Pirates took a chance on that one.
Yeah, that was Sophia Ralofsky, the leading scorer for either side, checking into tonight's contest. 18 goals on the season for her. And now Merrill off the cross. She had Annalise Norris tracking. But she would have needed like a Mario Kart speed boost to catch up for that one. No chance.
Either would have had to put a lot more curve on that ball and combine that with a speed boost. The right idea, I like the fact that they moved it down here this quickly. But I do not imagine the wind looked like it picked up in the last few seconds. This corner kick to be very easy.
Yeah, Ariel Merrill with the wind kind of blowing in her face. Sets up a nice one in the middle of the park. Kyah with the shot. It's deflected. Flicked up by Norris. Trying to maintain possession. And her shot off the shin guards here of Ralofsky. And it'll be out of bounds for a Pirate throw-in. Want to say what's up to everybody out there watching live and free. I'm diving into the Facebook comments right now, and I see Kim cheering on from SBC country up north. Says, go Lady Pirates. Our own Travis Berardi, who was in the furnace tonight.
The
stark
opposite
contrast of what we have. He says he's cold just watching the match. And April Bragg, let's go TY Tigers. Just a period there for Nemi. I don't know how to transcribe. Just a dot.
Maybe it's a snowflake. Starting to snow in the fan zone as well.
A lot of snow coming into Arlin Field tonight. As you see it starting to accumulate here on the surface. We began the contest with a lot of rain, heavy rain. The wind has been a factor the entire night. But as it has progressed, Mother Nature cooling things off, and now it's gone from a wintry mix to just all snow. What a 3 hours we've seen.
Yeah, if you ever want to give anyone a good glimpse into what we deal with weather-wise and how quickly it can change here in Ohio, today is a good sample size for you. Although it was never too nice, but as I alluded to earlier, a nice reward awaiting the victor of today. I mean, Saturday looks to be a beautiful forecast where they'll play the next round over at Lexington.
Winner will move on to the district semifinals. Take on the winner of Columbian and Ontario next week. Quick throw in for Sophia. Nutmeg action. Rocked off the defender. She throws it in quick to the middle of the park.
I'll say one thing, too. Eventually, once we reach a victor tonight and someone stands out to us, Brian, the player of the match definitely is going to have to earn it. And I almost feel bad, almost feel like, I'll need to make the trek down. And I feel like I should be handing them a hot chocolate once they get up here. But I think they'll be happy just to get within four walls, some form of structure.
I guarantee whoever the player of the match is will be elated to get up here into the heated press box. Kind of a long trek, though, up the stairs. As that one's blistered barely outside. Mills dropped down to her knees. This one, some crispy bacon from McVeigh. Mills with a dynamite save. She's in double figures.
busting the double figures on the saves as you brought up, and could be looking to add on another here pending the incoming corner kicked.
Maggie jumping around, just trying to keep that body heat up as we're almost 5 minutes gone by here in this first overtime session. Still waiting for the whistle.
Shoo.
And now it comes. She strikes it in tight and pushed right out of bounds by Noel. Do it all over again.
Low line drive. Went with a little bit of a different tactic. Tried to keep it on the ground that time. Have another chance to do it again.
And Maggie, basically the same result. It did squirt by. Had an opportunity, did Caitlin Frankfather, but the sophomore can't angle it on frame. And Hayden, that was so much fun. How about a third?
Yeah, we'll see if the third time's a charm for the Pirates. See if they switch anything up.
She will put a little bit more trajectory underneath it. Mills lost the handle and then flops down onto the pitch. I didn't see why. I mean, she really tried to sell that one, didn't she?
I won't lie.
Definitely got to respect the hustle there by Brennan Mills. Referee not buying it. And Brennan appears to be shaken up, though. I mean, she's overhanging on to the side of the goalpost. Take one more look. Just was never able to catch it.
I mean, there's some bump to the knee, but to the inside of that knee. Definitely, I think she a little bit of pain, grimacing, but I've seen her take some hard hits before, you know, this year and last season. Looks like she's going to stick this out.
Lady Tygers don't have a whole lot of depth, as we've alluded to so far during this contest. Noelle Ambler, I believe, is their backup keeper if they need one. And she's been busy in the field of play all evening long.
Yeah, certainly would be a rough scenario to have to go to any other position player valuable on offense and who hasn't had much time playing keeper.
Mills on the season, 185 saves, including tonight. Ariel slaps that one out of bounds. Deflected off of a Pirate.
Tigers have not had much going on their side in terms of offensively here in overtime so far, ever since those early few moments.
Seven minutes gone by here in this overtime session. Ball running here to the near side, couple of touches, and going to be slapped out by Basilone. Pirates have not been able to really take full advantage of going this way with the wind, though they have had a lot of corner kicks. And that ball does stay in the field of play. Two-lady game here. Last pass not able to connect with Kyah Wentz as it's to the feet of Michaela Hartley. I think that one's going to run out of bounds. Good thought process there from Sophia Ralofsky with McVeigh out on the wing. But the ball runs. And so it's a Tiger throw-in. Been defending for bulk majority of this overtime session so far as the speed. And McVeigh has to turn it back inside yet again. And Mills handles. Definitely see Maggie's a promising young player, but man, she's got to develop a left foot at some point.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of those things that's hindered the opportunities because she's been, along with Ralofsky, the main shot creators, but it's becoming predictable.
Oh, not this time, though, as she lays it off for Ralofsky, and they'll put it into the back.
Oh, they think the match is over, I think, Brian.
Still going to play the next 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
I mean, I think they'll allow the celebration, but it kind of felt like they thought it was over.
And when you haven't won a tournament match
in
a decade, you don't really know what this feels like. So I'm all for the bliss, and the referees are talking it over. They're like, man, let's just get out of here, right?
Yeah, they may just be calling this. Now,
I'm going to have to get some clarification. I'm almost positive that they have to play the full session, right? I don't think there's a golden goal.
I don't think the explanation we were given as far as what we could hear from the PA was that they would play the full first period. They're saying final now, though. I'm not sure what the OHSAA rules on that are. I mean, we are in tournament play. You trust the officials, but yeah, they're out of here.
So this is the golden goal right here. Maggie McVeigh sets up Sophia Ralofsky, and that's going to end it in overtime. With 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, the Pirates strike with a game winner to end their decade-long drought here in the playoffs. We'll step aside with a quick commercial timeout. We'll be back with your final stats, talk about what we just saw here and how things ended. And we'll also get an interview with our player of the match. I think we're going to have to hear from the young lady who just sent Perkins on to the next round, that being Sophia Ralofsky. So keep it here. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Happy Halloween.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Very nice look to Denbo. Trimble behind the back move. Oh my goodness, ankle breaker. And it's the shot. Wow.
Being aggressive and traveling, or he's trapping. Inside to Holloway.
2-on-2 fast break. Ramsey has it, takes it herself. Off the glass. And Curfew comes back.
We return now with our player of the game presented by Mechanics Bank, Sophia Ralofsky. The game-winning goal in overtime with 6:10 to go to send the Lady Perkins Pirates into the next round. So first off, congratulations, and let's begin with the excitement of delivering a golden goal in overtime and what that's like for you as a sophomore.
Yeah, so it was definitely really emotional because we've never won the first game in playoffs for the history of our soccer team, and I think it was such a physically and mentally hard game that it just was so relieving for all of us.
It's got to be relieving just to be up here and be in a heated press box because you were just telling me maybe one of the worst conditions that you've ever played in, period, in any match in your entire career. Describe it for us out there. The change of weather, it was raining, then it was snowing. How wild was it? Yeah,
so in the beginning it was really windy and raining. And then it transitioned to snowing and windy, and it's just freezing in general. It's just all really wet.
So to try to just even execute your game plan out there, how tough was it to implement your strategy and really try to do what you've been doing all season versus just gutting it out and just trying to deal with the elements and just make plays as they come?
Well, it helped because we were all really invested in the game, but it just takes a lot of extra effort for first touch and everything because it's super wet out there, and it was hard, but we pushed through, so that's good.
So you're hitting new milestones. You mentioned that you never really been to a round of a district, maybe ever in program history. Back-to-back Lake Division championships now. What do you think has kind of turned the page for this program that's put you in a position where Pirates have never been before?
I think the girls coming up have all been pretty experienced, and we've all played with each other for a long time, so the chemistry and all of that, but also just our goals for wanting it so bad, and that's really helped us push through.
What were some of those benchmarks that you guys put in place? I know that you graduated a handful of girls that were key contributors from a season ago. Did you feel like heading into this year that you could have some of the more same type of success that you had in 2021?
Yeah, we definitely knew that it would, like, a few of the girls would be big losses, but we have a really young team, so we only have 3 seniors, so going into that, we were pretty confident still.
Well, you're moving on to the round of districts, a place where the Pirates have never been before. So just give me some initial expectations and what your thought process is as you're heading into likely a matchup with the number 1 seed.
Yeah, we know it's definitely going to be a tough game, and we're just ready to fight hard. We don't really know what to expect, but we're going to give it our all and see what happens.
All right, congratulations, our Mechanics Bank Player of the Game, Sophia Ralofsky, the game-winning goal in overtime. Is there anybody out there that you would like to thank that's helped you throughout your soccer career, or just someone who might be watching this stay at home tonight because it's so cold?
I'd like to thank my coaches and my dad for always being my number 1 supporter, and Maggie McVeigh for giving me that great ball.
Yeah, that was a nice setup there at the end. So we got a magnet for you for being
Thank
in our
you.
OH Report MVP. Thank you so much for the time. Go get warm. Celebrate this one.
I will. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and just keep the action here with us as we'll let Sophia make her way down here from the treacherous towers up at Arlin Field. And we'll bring Hayden Gray back into the equation here as we break down the final stats of the night. Brought to you by the Mansfield City School District Levy Committee. And, man, a lot of drama there at the end of the match, Hayden. That was some pretty exciting stuff that we got to experience. And we thought there was going to be a little bit more to overtime, so I'm assuming that the officials got this thing right.
Yeah.
But to come down to the wire like that, though, now that we know that it is golden goal type of experience when you're out there for overtime, I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns to this one with the weather even changing. We saw like 3 different styles of Mother Nature in this contest. So there's a lot to, I think, unpack from this one, all ending with Perkins moving on to the districts from what it sounds like for the first time in their school history.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That was a great interview that she gave, and it sounds like they're very, very excited to get to that. And those are some of those uncharted waters, but we knew that whoever came out of this one tonight was going to be taking that next step that both these programs were kind of looking for tonight. A tough season, a tough way to go out for the Tigers, but they too turned a page, and as we alluded to, or as we mentioned, getting to host a playoff tournament game and not have to take on Madison. So both in the right direction, but, Perkins just on a little bit of a faster track this season.
Yeah, the Pirates notching their 13th win of the campaign. Mansfield Senior ends the season now at 8-7-2 overall, as the winner of that Columbian Ontario match will move on, take on Perkins next Wednesday over at Lexington in the first half of back-to-back semifinal games at the round of districts. So just give me some final thoughts on what we saw from the Tigers here tonight, Hayden, who are just going to graduate 1 player. Now, granted, it's a very special talent in Kyah Wentz, but everybody's going to be back, and I imagine that they've got some younger kids in the program that are waiting in the wings to get their opportunity as well.
Sure. They'll definitely, as you mentioned, they'll definitely miss Kyah Wentz, the presence that she brings to a team, that lone senior. Now, fortunate for them, they'll still get to see her in basketball, coming up in the winter, but a lot of promise with that youth that they have. They gain a lot of valuable experience playing, getting in these big moments over the last few years, and then tonight certainly adds to the experience. So I think that the next step for them next year will be to host another game and then try and get that win that, the same thing that Perkins is experiencing this year. They'll want to check that milestone off next year. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen for the Lady Tigers next year, and an interesting way to go out, an interesting last game for them to play. I don't know if anyone thought the weather would turn out quite like this tonight, but I think both teams fought really hard and battled through those elements.
Just the fact that they are both standing here at the end of the night despite some unbelievable conditions out there due to the weather, you got to applaud both of them. But one team has to go home. That is the TY Tigers, while Perkins moves on into the round of districts for the first time ever. That's going to do it for our coverage here tonight as Sandusky Perkins on the road in overtime gets it done 2-1. And one last shout out to the Levy for Mansfield City Schools. No tax increase for the taxpayers around here. It's going to generate almost $8 million. So please do vote yes on November 8th. That will replace the 5-year emergency renewal levy. I want to thank our amazing staff here on the OH Report, including our camera guy, Keaton Cooper. Did a nice job for us up top. One of our shining stars and our intern here on the OH Report from Pioneer and Colonel Crawford. Adam Thompson, our producer, director, graphics builder extraordinaire. I'm Brian Skowronski for Hayden Gray, thanking everybody back at OH Report World Headquarters, and of course, you the fans for watching. But for now, for tonight, we are out of here.